So I've gone through these VCR of death movies, and on a good day, most of these are about 1.5 to 2.5s. Nothing special, really. Truck Turner, like somewhere between a 2.5 and a 3. But this movie, no, not this McBain.
Ran his limo off a cliff. Broke. Friendship. Loyalty.
Yep.
Honor.
Ha ha ha. Oh shit.
McBain.
Let me tell you, I think I have seen the best action movie, period. The best action hero movie ever. Um, and this is a movie that's not popular. I mean, I've seen the YouTube reviews get about at most 700 views because not many people think about this movie. Now, you got Christopher Walken, you got Michael Ironstein, you got Steve, what is his name? Steve James. I was going to say Steve fucking Jobs, not Steve fucking Jobs. Steve James, Maria Conchita Alonso, right? You got Michael Ironside, you got Maria Conchita Alonso, you got Christopher Walken, you got Patterson, not James Patterson, Jay Patterson. There's all kinds of people in this. Now, to sum this, it's the A Team for adults. Okay, if you watch the A Team, like I did, right, and when did the A Team end? Like 1988, 1989, something like that. Like before the 90s began, right? So by the time 1990 began, I was 12. So maybe like if you watch this at 13 years old, okay? So you watched the A Team, you thought they were cool, but they never killed anybody, right? And now you're 13 years old, you're in the movie theater, and you see Christopher Walken as McBain. And now you see, oh yeah, now people getting killed, okay? You got explosions, you've got people getting mutilated, you got stabbings, you got shootings, you've got torturings of women and children, torturings of people being, hung up to like ceiling fans. You got people being bludgeoned to death. You got all kinds of shit. You got revolutions. You got this is you got the one black guy, but you got Filipinos and you got like Colombian. So the whole plot revolves around the Vietnam War, and then after the Vietnam War, there's a Colombian War, and you got Petro's great grand or his Petro's father or grandfather being the president of Colombia, and so then there's a heartfelt speech by Maria Conchita Alonso at the end of this movie about that things that resonate with today, 2024, and how America is right now, what we're fighting about. So you got rebel forces fighting against the president of Colombia, and the guy. So the Vietnam War happens, okay, and in this movie, unlike because Maria worked with Arnold, right? Michael Ironside worked with Arnold, so even though it's an action movie that you would expect to see with Dolph, with Sly, with Arnold, or Jean Claude, this is not the one guy saves everybody. Now, it's true that Christopher Walken is the hero of the movie, and it is true that if he died early in the movie, there'd probably be no movie. But you could expect Christopher Walken to die at the end of the movie. Well, a spoiler, he does not die at the end of this movie. He lives to the end. There's only one fatality. There's only one fatality of one of our heroes. Now in the Vietnam War, at the beginning of this movie, we see these guys fight off Vietnamese soldiers, okay, and they're trying to survive the war, okay. And you got the warlord. I guess these are Filipinos. I'm not sure because I see a Philippine like crew in the credits, right? But you got Asian people, you got black dude, you got white dudes, you got Mexicans, right? You got everybody in this fucking movie, okay? All the different, except maybe Indian, but you got everybody in this fucking movie, okay? Everybody is in this movie, like just that whole like camaraderie, okay? It's like Star Wars for adults, okay? As far as like a battle here. So this is Star Wars for adults. And so the Vietnam War, but you see at the beginning, Christopher Walken's in this sort of bamboo jail cell with a guy. So there was a movie in which I saw in the VCR of Death, in which I think it's called Warlord of Death too, in which a guy has to fight different people for the rest of his life, and that's what Christopher Walken was doing, was fighting other prisoners until he died, and so he got rescued by the other guys, and so Steve James and Michael Ironside and other people come in and they save his life, and they rescue him, and so they get out of the Vietnam War, but not before this other dude who saved his life. It's another dude. Now this is the guy who is the brother, I think, of Maria Conchita Alonso, and he tears up $100 bill in half, gives him one of the $100, that one half, and he says, when I need you, I'll bring you the other half. So the brother comes off as the hero of like the first 20, 30 minutes of the movie. We don't see McBain for almost 30 minutes. We see this guy stand off against the evil president, right? We think maybe this guy will win. We don't see McBain anywhere. After 20, 30 minutes, the guy gets killed because the president, who kind of looks like Biden, almost like a Ronnie Cox type of president, right? He acts like Trump. He looks like Biden, but ultimately he doesn't do shit for anybody. He doesn't care. He doesn't factor into this, which is very disappointing, but he does not factor into the movie. And so he doesn't help. He doesn't help with Colombia. Colombia, the brother asks for help. The president's like, he doesn't do anything. Okay. And at the end of this movie, the president's like, we're going to change the money. Paper money will no longer be green, but red, white, and blue. Like, okay, what the fuck are you talking about? What the fuck is this president going on? What a useless president we have, right? In the U.S. So that doesn't help. So he's killed, and McBain, Maria Conchita Alonso gives McBain the other half of the $100 bill. So now he knows something's wrong. The brother's dead. He saw it on the news. And so he gets her, and then they get Jay Patterson and some other dude who are, I think Jay Patterson's the surgeon for the police station. And then this guy here, I forgot who's playing him. He is a police officer, and he saw, one of his own get killed, okay, by the president of Colombia. So, and then Michael Ironside's a rich guy with women in his pool, but he's bored out of his balls are bored. So these four guys get together, right? And then there's a fifth guy. Right? So Michael Ironside is actually not in here. So Michael Ironside would be the guy number 5. So that's the last guy he gets. So they all go on a plane. Michael Ironside's got technology. He's got the high-tech stuff. It's the A-team, okay? I guess Steve James is B.A. Baracus, but there's no muscular guy. There are no muscular guys. There are guys in good shape, medium weight, but no muscular dudes. There are no Arnolds. There are no Mr. T's. There are no Hulk Hogan's or Jean-Claude or anything like that. No Jackie Chan. There is nobody to carry the entire weight of the movie. Everybody's doing something. Everybody is there. There's even a nice scene where there's a village. The village gets attacked, okay? I wouldn't say it wouldn't be as bad as John Rambo, where the kids are raped and their heads are broken in or stuff like that. But kids are shot at. And then there's a scene where this guy here uses a straw. He uses like makeshift, like sort of MacGyver type tools to get her to breathe again. It's not CPR. It's something else that they have to do. We don't see anything really. It's just kind of like acting, and it's off screen, but it's kind of unique. I like that scene where he saves the little girl's life in the village. You get the cows there. It's I mean, I don't know what it was. It was such a cool, like, just these moments that they have just along the way. Now, there's a pilot, and he's not exactly Tom Cruise at Top Gun, but he has a great moment. And unfortunately, he does die. This is the one guy that dies, is the pilot, who sacrifices himself to blow up a truck with explosives to get into the consulate, to get into the building. So now it's these guys' turn to go and take down the president, where the brother failed. Okay, the brother saved uh, Christopher Walken's life at the beginning of the movie. Now he's returning the favor. Okay, so he does take down the president in some kind of the shootouts and stuff is a little over the top. There's over the top violence. There's over the top stuff happening with violence, and I enjoyed every moment of it. You know, there was never a downtime. Everybody had something to do. Maria had something to do. Steve James had something to do. This guy here had something to do, right? The doctor, McBain. Everybody had their bit. Everybody made their own weapons, their own cannons. They saw that the rebels were winning, so the Colombian soldiers, their air force stepped down. They didn't mess with them, and they won. Of course, that's how that movie goes. One casualty, but one that was the only over the top death that I did not laugh at. I laughed at all the damn deaths except for the over the top one, for the pilot, because he says, "Yeah, that's it. That was a heroic, spectacular death," and I took that seriously. It's like that is a good death. Shouldn't have happened, but it happens. You have to have some teeth in this, right? Somebody has to go, right? Somebody's got to bite it, so it's got to be the pilot, who you don't see very much. Actually, he wears his helmet on for most of that, the flying stuff, and then he takes off his helmet, and he's like, "Oh, that's cool." You know, it's not a big actor; it's just another person that really is like he fits the bill of the pilot, but you don't see his face for a while. So, I really do think this is the best action movie I've ever seen, for what it is. You know, with Arnold and with Sly and other actors, you have to really depend on them. I mean, you kind of just know how those movies go. It's formulaic. This is formulaic, but because of the ingredients that are used to make the formulaic action movie, you don't know what's going to happen. You don't know what the fuck's going to happen. You're not as sure. I mean, for all you know, Christopher Walken could die at the end of the movie, but he saved everybody, but he died doing it. It could have been that way. They could have gotten away with it because Christopher Walken isn't really known as an action hero. He really isn't. But they didn't. Everybody lived. And that's what made this movie really good. So for that reason alone, I'm going to give McBain, I'm doing it. I'm giving it a fucking 5. I'm giving it a 5 out of 5. Best action movie you will ever fucking see. This is the action movie to end all action movies. I'm really serious about this. And not to be outdone, I will be watching and reviewing Lawnmower Man 2 Beyond Cyberspace. Let me tell you, I'm liking this movie too. And it just complements the first one, but we'll get into 2.6. You're out of your mind. No, there's a lot to like about this movie. See you then.